Welcome to Nevada NewsMakers. On the program today, the day before the primary.
This is Nevada NewsMakers.
And back on Nevada NewsMakers, we have a great Power Pundit panel. As always, Mike Bosma is here, the managing partner with the Bosma Group. We have Ernie Adler, former state senator, and Greg Crawford, managing partner with Sierra Nevada Wealth Management. Pleasure to have you all here. Very interesting over the last couple of weeks, Review Journal reporting on John Paulson, the major Wall Street hedge fund manager who has made significant investments in the Silver State in the gaming industry. Harrah's announced last Thursday that Paulson and Company are going to pick up a 9.9% equity stake in Harrah's, and this comes on the heels of them picking up a huge portion of MGM Mirage, 40 million shares, and also 4 million shares of Boyd Gaming. Also, Apollo and TPG, who are the actual main owners of Harrah's, also have picked up more of the company. What is this saying about what's going on?
Well, I think it's people are figuring out it's a good time to buy. There's value there. Casinos, although they're not what they once were, their valuations from a price earnings multiple perspective are very well priced, and they're seeing that. They're buying in now and betting not only in Nevada, but actually those properties have many locations, and they're betting on gaming as a whole that it's going to be okay.
What kind of time frame do you see for the industry coming back?
I would say a couple of years, and I think what they're doing is they're doing bargain basement shopping on these deals, and they figure in 2 years they're going to get their money back with a premium.
Well, you know, Apollo and TPG have been fascinating to watch because they've been buying up their own debt. So that if they actually ended up in bankruptcy, they would still own their own company.
Right.
That's remarkable.
Yeah. And these are very sophisticated investors. I mean, Paulson's obviously famous because of the whole Goldman situation. But, you know, gaming numbers have stabilized. And while it's hard to see them returning to where they were from a capital position and a capital standpoint, stabilization of the gaming numbers makes the equity and the debt of these organizations look more attractive.
Ray, you had a major piece over the weekend on Richard Silverman, who heads up the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno. Now, of course, this is a bank-owned property, but they are being extremely aggressive. You reported that they are now third in terms of visit count. In that story, or reporting for that story, did you find that there are people now sniffing around to buy the Grand Sierra at this point in time?
I did not find that, Sam. What I think about gaming is that, you know, it has stabilized, but when you have to realize that the numbers that we're talking about are compared to a year last year when things were horrible. I mean, the whole industry was just right on the edge, the precipice. So you know, it's going to be a while until it comes back. I would say earliest would be 2012. What has to happen for the Nevada gaming market to really come back is that we have to get back into the construction business, because the construction business is where the key factors of local neighborhood gaming is, and neighborhood gaming, the local customer is needed by almost everybody.
And that's where the big battleground is. It was interesting that Paulson bought into Boyd Gaming, you know, because I mean a good portion of their business is locals gaming in Las Vegas Valley.
Right, but I think that it speaks to how, you know, multi-location, and I think to the Grand Sierra Resorts that's a tough property as a standalone property, but it works very well if it's part of a portfolio. So I think that's where there could be a lot of value, and that's really the way Boyd stations have built their model, even on locals, and that's still a vibrant part of the economy, especially now that it's all based on price. You don't make money when you sell, you make it when you buy. You buy at the right price, you'll do okay.
But I agree with Ray, though. The construction industry is kind of the key to this, and currently houses are selling on the resale market for less than you can build one for. Until that gets turned around, I think we have a problem.
Well, you know, and that was interesting because that was the other story I wanted to pick up on. Hubble Smith writing this weekend in the Review Journal as well. The headline is, "Forget renting, it's now cheaper to buy in the Valley. Places that peaked in the bubble now offer deals."
That's exactly right. I mean, you can buy a house now and get a mortgage for under $1,000 a month. I mean, that's a heck of a deal.
So where do you see this going, you know, for the new construction market?
Well, the new construction market's going to be difficult, as long as Ernie said. I mean, you're able to buy a property for less than it actually costs to construct it. That market has to find a clearing price, the housing market in Las Vegas. Once it does, construction will return because there are some long-term advantages to Nevada relative to our neighbors in terms of corporations relocating and all those sorts of things. But right now, it is cheaper, and interest rates are extremely low as well. So the trouble is you have to qualify for a mortgage, and when 1 in 6 locals is unemployed, it's difficult to see a quick rebound.
Well, but Sam, it's interesting though. Normally, construction leads that recovery. But I think in Nevada specifically, if we can get some jobs happening, that commercial construction is going to pull us out because of the affordability of housing and the cost, the cost of living in general is pretty moderate right now. So it's a good time to attract businesses. I wish I saw more leadership on the state level going out and aggressively attracting businesses to locate and expand here.
Well, that was interesting because Brian Kralicki was on the program last week and talking about how states like Texas and in particular New Mexico are spending $1 to bring in 99 cents for the business, and how do we compete with that when we can't constitutionally?
Well, then change the Constitution. Great platform to run on in this election cycle. And I'll tell you, I think that's a little naive on our part. If you really look at the numbers, the economic development numbers, there's a return on that investment in the long run, and we have to change our perspective if we're going to get back to snuff.
Well, we have had proposals to change the Constitution. It's been on the ballot a couple of times, and the problem is the voters don't want to pledge the full faith and credit of the state of Nevada to bring in business, and I think it's very short-sighted, but it's got to be explained in such a way that voters will vote for it.
Right. All right, and that's where we're going to leave it, but that's an interesting jumping off point for another show. Thank you all very much. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
Having your Social Security disability application denied?
Thanks for watching. Tomorrow's guest is Howard Rosenberg. We'll be talking about the business of entertainment.
We'll see you then.